Working? Hello? Alright, I think it's working. I don't know if that's an OBS glitch or whatever, but anyway, it's not important. So yeah, welcome back to the stream, everybody. So today, or in the bonus stream, I guess, would just be continuing on with what I was doing this morning, which is that mosquito swarm card, which requires an update to my turn history. And yeah, we're basically just going to be doing whatever refactoring or whatever extension work is necessary to get that functional. So the goal by the end of the stream is to have that mosquito swarm card finished. And we'll see how long that takes. And yeah, we'll see how long the stream goes. Don't really have a plan beyond that, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, again, I want to remind you that Gunforged is available for purchase. This is a great way to support me, and if you end up playing it, please consider leaving a review. You might like it if you like 2D roguelite shooters. I also have my new Udemy course, Create a Complete Online Co-op Multiplayer Game in Godot 4. This one will teach you all the essentials of multiplayer development in Godot, so you'll learn the high-level networking nodes, as well as like RPCs and all of that stuff. But I also have other courses in the description below as well. I've got a C# course and a Vampire Survivors style course. So yeah, check those things out. Everything's linked in the description below. Those are all the ways you could support me, and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it. And yeah, basically what we need to do is my code is still in a bad state here. So I was working on this damage bank here. And yeah, the problem is I need to create a new provider in this ability system that can provide the damage that a certain card has done. So it's going to be similar to the simple damage reflection that I have here. There's this damage taken provider, which is a provider that when it gets executed will query the turn history for all of the damage that was done to a particular board. But with this mosquito swarm, what I want to do is the mosquito is going to track all the damage that it's doing, and then after a certain number of executions, it's going to deal a bigger amount of damage based on how much damage it did. So yeah, I need to add some turn history stuff that will tell me which cards have done certain damages. So anyway, let's see how that's going to work. So oh man, I'm tired all of a sudden. Uh-oh, that's not good. Anyway, get total ability execution count. I'm just trying to find an example of stuff that I might want. So we got turn histories. So in here, there's a turn history entry. And these turn histories are segmented by board. So we got track damage dealt here, get damage dealt. One other thing that I want to check too is, let me see here. On turn tick, this is being called where? In the artifact manager. Okay, so I think what I want to do here, so we got this do turn tick. This is going to iterate over all the cards. It's going to do the turn ticks here. It's going to run the execution. In here, it's setting the card stats for the execution context. So I think what I'll do in here, track damage dealt. Is there a reason why? Oh, I see. Track damage dealt to board. I wonder if I should rework this. I don't know. Hello, Anykey. Welcome back. I forgot to say hello to everybody. Hello, iCode stuff. Too deep into the work already. What do we do for lunch today? I had leftover food that I had. Hello, Infinity01. Welcome, welcome. What happened to my hand? Nothing. It's just prevent too much strain from happening. That's it. How long have you been live? Oh, just a couple minutes. Just a couple minutes. Hello, Kelso. Also, welcome back, Adam. Good morning. It's not morning. It's not morning. Always work on your game. Well, not really. I mean, I haven't worked on my game since the stream this morning. I was doing other stuff for my courses, and then I also had to do some of that part-time work for my part-time job, so I haven't worked on this since this morning, but we're back at it again. I'm wondering why this turn history... I don't know if I really like this. Turn history. I might rework the turn history, generally speaking. Oh wait, no, maybe it's fine. The entries are just segmented by board. I see. Now the cat is bugging me. Azir, I just started streaming, buddy. You were sleeping and I started streaming and now you want attention. What is it? What is up with you? What do you want? What do you want? Okay. Okay. Can I work? Thank you. It's always morning somewhere. Relativity is a B, yes. Fire Kitty is back, yes. Are you jealous? Are you jealous of the chat? Are you jealous of chat? Okay. Okay. So I don't really know, why am I segmenting this by board? I don't get it. I don't get this. I guess it's just so that I can group all of the actions by board. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Why wouldn't I just... Oh, this is a turn history here. Do cooldown tick. What is going on here? I'm really just wondering if I should even do this. I don't know if I want to do that anymore. Create entry for board, get entry for board. Get total ability execution count. I mean, I guess it's fine. I mean, it's workable. I don't even know. I don't think it's necessary to change it, but also it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The way that I'm thinking about it is, well, so this is kind of confusing. So we've got a turn context, which has a running list of turn histories, but it's also got the current turn history. This turn history object contains a dictionary, which maps a board to a turn history entry. And the turn history entry is basically the object that contains everything that happens during that turn. But I wonder why I wouldn't just make... I wonder why I wouldn't just do this. List turn history entry like so. And then inside of the turn history entry object, I pass in all the parameters that are necessary, like the source board and everything. I might do that. That sounds better to me. I'm gonna need to, let's see, damage dealt to board by type. Yeah, the problem though is that get entry for context. I do want to remove this layer. I don't think that's necessary, but also it's probably not important to work on right now, but... Whatever, should we do it? Should we rework it? Let's rework it, it'll be fun. Does Fire Kitty know C#? Nope. Hello, Emerson, welcome back. Good to see you. Alright, we're gonna YOLO mode this. We're gonna YOLO mode this. So this all here, I'm just gonna comment a lot of this stuff out. Oops. Okay. So we got the current history, damage shield, track damage dealt. Yeah, so I think in here, this was get entry for context. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do this. Whenever I do track damage dealt, I want to pass in a bunch of data. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to, inside of this turn history, let's get rid of this. I'm going to create a more, I don't know, track damage dealt. Yeah, let's do this. Public class damage dealt entry. And in here, we're going to have a 2-board, a damage type, and an amount. Make these C# fields. Thank you. Okay, so 2-board damage type. So we're going to do another board, public from board. Get set. Then we're going to do public card stats by card. Get set. So we have a damage dealt entry now, which contains all the data about this instance of damage that was done. So it's got the damage type, the amount, so on and so forth. So now when I do this track damage dealt, we're going to change this up. We're going to make this, so we got damage dealt to board by type. This is all, I don't know, damage type. I'm just going to change this to be more of like a query kind of system. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log a bunch of these objects. And then what I'll do is whenever I need to like get the damage dealt, I will just iterate over the list using link or something. And that's going to prevent me from needing to store all these dictionaries and stuff. This card execution count, same deal here. I think what I can do is just store like a card execution object or something. And then I'll just use link to filter that list down to whatever card I'm looking at. And that way I don't need to store a bunch of long-lived data and like manage dictionary keys and everything. So I think this is going to be a little bit simpler, but also it's going to be more, I don't know, it's going to be easier to reason about, I think. So this track damage dealt now is going to require a damage dealt entry. Damage dealt entry. And what I'll do is I'll just store a list in here. Public list, or I'll make it this private maybe. Private list, damage dealt entry. Damage dealt entries. This is going to become a lot simpler now. I'll just add the damage entry into there. We can get rid of this stuff. Okay. And so now what I'll do is inside of this get damage dealt, what I'm going to do is just do var damage dealt equal damage dealt entries dot where entry dot toBoard equals toBoard and entry dot type equals type. Sum entry dot amount. Look at that. And I can just return this now. So now I don't need to do any of that. So that's just going to read that list and just sum up everything for me. Trackability execution, we'll worry about that in a second here. Get most recently executed ability. Is this even used anywhere? This is not used. We're going to get rid of this. Get ability execution count, card abilities executed entry. Oh, I wonder if I should put this inside of that. This get damage dealt now. This is being read in the damage taken provider. This stuff I don't think is no longer necessary. So I'm basically just merging all of the turn histories together into one thing and then delineating on each individual like entry which board was the cause of that entry, I guess you could say. So this get turn history range here, this is going to become turn history entry. Get turn history range. Get total ability execution count. Am I using this? I'm not using that anywhere. Get out of here. Okay. Get turn history entry range for board. Get turn history range dot select turn history dot. So this is where it's going to become. What is this? Where's my IntelliSense? Oh, I see. So the problem is this top line. Oh, I see. Get turn history entry range for board. What is this? I don't think I need this anymore because we're not delineating by board. So we're going to get rid of this. I just need this get turn history range now. So this is going to become, this whole thing just becomes get turn history range. Like so. We get rid of that. Get last execution index. We'll have to update that. Get turn history range. We want the start turn index. Yeah, so this, we're just going to do this. So this is history entries. Get rid of this. History entries. Some get damage dealt. So this get damage dealt now is going to read the damage dealt entries for that turn and sum them up, but only where yeah, so this is the damage taken provider. It by default tells me how much damage this source board has taken. So this is going to go to all the history entries. It's going to get the damage dealt for each turn entry, turn history entry in this range, this turn history range. And then this source board here is going to be like the player board, for instance. It's going to call get damage dealt, and it's going to say, okay, return all the damage dealt entries where the entry is dealing damage to the board that I'm passing in, and the damage is of this type. And then we sum those up. And then that sums it across histories as well. So that is basically a lot simpler. Okay, so get card last execution turn index. Turn histories, I get entry for board. We're going to get rid of this. Get card execution count. Okay, card execution count is probably going to change, but this can go away. Now that I'm not delineating anything by board, I don't need to pass this in. We don't have a create entry for board anymore. So what's going to need to happen then is, what am I doing with this current history? Turn histories.add. This is a turn history entry. Wait, why is this being stored? Oh, I see. I got you. So this turn context current history. This completely goes away. Process turns. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, this is automatically creating a new history entry here. Okay, all right. So that's good. What's going on in here? Increment card execution count. Zoop. We'll just get rid of that. I want to change this as well. I'm going to change that in a second, but I think the most important thing, so now I have to update all this track damage dealt here, which now requires a damage dealt entry. So yeah, we'll figure that out. Hello, Kzori, welcome, welcome. Would I rather be a dinosaur or a lizard? I would rather be a lizard. I would rather be a lizard. I think it's easier to hide and scurry away as a lizard. It's easier to stay out of sight, out of mind as a lizard, you know? If you're a dinosaur, I kind of feel like, I mean, okay, here you go. Like if you're struggling for survival, right, you want to be a small creature because then you don't need much food to survive, right? Like if you go through an extended period of drought as a large dinosaur and all of the vegetation starts dying, and if you're an herbivore or you're a carnivore, it's going to be a lot harder to get your food sources than if you're like a tiny lizard that can eat like one bug and be good for a week. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd just rather be a lizard. I feel like it'd be a little bit easier to survive. You can hide, scurry under rocks or whatever. Your only real predators are like birds, I guess. But again, as long as you're like in a hard to reach place, the birds aren't going to get you. I guess snakes are kind of a problem too. But still, I think I'd rather be a lizard. Your co-op multiplayer course looks awesome. I'm going to give it a go. Do you plan on ever covering Godot Steam multiplayer peer? I may do that as a bonus lesson. Haven't decided on that yet though. But so I'm not going to make any promises, but welcome to the stream, by the way, Frieza Fish. Frieza Fish. I think I turned off the crown thing too. Oh no, the crowns are here. Infinity 01 is number 1. Oh no, wait, this is a rigged game. The top 4 people in the crowns have 75 XP, but it gave Infinity 01 the crown. I'm still waiting for the dinosaur lizard ant, sorry. Dude, forgot he has a chat. Yeah, I was in the zone, dude. I was in the zone. Weren't dinosaurs lizards? I don't know, man. Do we even know what dinosaurs were? I've heard everything from like they were scaly lizards to they were feathered birds, so I have no idea. I won, yes indeed. You did win. YouTube and its biased algorithm has given you the victory. So this track damage dealt now, it requires this damage dealt entry, but I want an easy way of creating this. So, I can do this actually. var damage dealt entry is equal to new turn history entry dot damage dealt entry. To board is equal to owner board. From board is equal to execution context dot source board. Type is equal to damage context dot type. This amount is going to need to change based on. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Well, shoot. This is not going to work. Is there an easy way to create this object? Where the heck am I? Here. Pie card type. I mean, I don't really just want to make like a constructor with all kinds of arguments, but I might have to do that. Okay. Anyway, board combat component. var shield damage entry is equal to new turn history entry owner board to source board, card stats, damage type shield, shield damage dealt. That seems correct. So we pass in the shield damage entry here. And then we want to do var damage dealt entry, owner board, source board, card stats, physical, remaining damage. I think that's correct. I don't like having 5 arguments at once, but I don't really know a better way around that, so it's fine. Poison damage entry, owner board, source board, card stats, poison damage amount. And then we change this to poison damage entry, owner board, source board, card stats, necrotic damage amount. That works. Entry, owner board, shield damage dealt. Okay, and then fire damage entry, source board, card stats, fire, remaining damage. I think that's all right. Did I forget any place in the code here? And the answer is yes. Turn history entry, get entry for board. So I don't need that. Oh wait, I searched for that. Did I delete something that I needed? My cat is being as annoying as possible right now. It's kind of funny. Get most recently executed ability. Why the heck do I need that? Oh. Get most recently executed ability. So when you're doing systems like this, what I find is that when you're building a system like this, try to treat it as if you're building it for a third-party developer. When you're building complex systems, it helps to think about it as if you're building a service that's going to be consumed by like a different person, right? And so that means in practice that you want to disentangle as much of your game logic from this stuff as possible, number one. Like, I don't want to store any like critical game state in this class or in these classes, but also you want to think about it as if you're designing an API that's meant to be consumed, right? And so that kind of, if you adopt that framing, you'll probably notice that your code is going to get a lot cleaner, because then you think about it, okay, like if I'm just building a generic, like in this case a turn history class provider that's storing a bunch of data, then I want ways of entering data, I want ways of querying data, I want ways of grabbing or summing up data or getting ranges of data, and that's it, right? And so I'm building this system with that mindset. And I think that just generally helps me create better code, I think. So, I don't know. Something to think about, I guess. Get most recently executed ability. I remember deleting that, but I don't remember where it was. Oh, here. Okay. Get entry for context. I don't need this either. Track ability execution, ability entry data, get most recently executed ability. So I just need to understand how this works so I can test it. Latest ability entry, executed against board. Get player board, play effect for ability. Oh, this is just about the visual effects. Okay. Well, let's see if I did it correctly. How can I test a Steam friends play together on my game if it doesn't exist on a Steam page? I think there's a way you can read the Steam docs. I think there's a way to test Steam networking without first having a Steam page. I think, but don't quote me on that. I haven't looked into that yet. I'm not even on the list. I'm pretty sure I won. Yeah, seriously. Dinosaur is a chicken. You know that's why it's delicious. Yeah. Game dev time once again. Yes, indeed. Welcome, Jackie Daytona. Master Macheater. Welcome to the stream. Rando question, when you're looking for some pre-made assets on Godot, where do you go? I want to start messing with 3D stuff for testing. I don't really use pre-made assets, so I'm afraid I can't give you any suggestions, but maybe someone else in the chat can help. You can use required as a keyword for property. That makes it so that you have to fill that out if you have an empty constructor. This is a somewhat newer C# feature. Is that so? Wow, that's fancy. That is very helpful. So I'm going to... Oops. Wow, that's cool. Unfortunately, now I have to change all this. This is what AI servants are for. Change all of the damage dealt entry to use object initialization in accordance with turn history entry. Can I do damage dealt entry? Yeah. Let's see how long that takes. Oh, didn't take very long at all. Yes, keep going. Nice to see my niche internet e-celeb again, yes. Hey chat, explain this XP on my favorite niche internet celebrity YouTube channel. Sorry, wrong chat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any control over that, I don't think. You can also use get and init, can be used separately or together when required after looking at documentation. Oh, so a init prevents it from being changed after you've set it, I guess. You stink, buddy. Did you drop a number 2? Did you drop a number 2? Classic cat. Go on. A separation of concerns. Yeah, keep the business logic in one place, decouple everything else. Okay, pseudonym. We're not gonna go there. That's true. I've never had bad tasting dinosaur. I've never had tasting dinosaur. Correct about init. Bam. Look at me using all these new C# features. Keep that. Okay. Let's go again. So, do I have a slime in my inventory? I don't. Son of a bee. What did I just do? So we're going to test the slime first, and then we need to test what? Well, Well, we'll just see if this works, I suppose. It seems to still be working, so that's good. The slime is working, I mean. Yeah, the slime just did 13 damage. Okay, I think that's working great. I think I've pretty much succeeded in simplifying that stuff. So now the question is, do I want to go any further and change some of the other things as well? Change how turn histories are logged. That just makes a lot more sense to me now. I was always a little bit confused by that turn history system. Card abilities executed entry. Oh, goodness. This is already kind of using that new format, so that's actually good. Why is this public? Why is that public? Okay. Why is this public? Damage dealt to board by type. This is no longer necessary. Card execution count. I don't know why I have this. I think... Increment card execution count. When is this happening? Run execution. I can increment, well... Get card execution count, where is this? Execution count for turn. Get card execution turn. Is that really all the words used? I think I can simplify this too. Increment card execution count. I don't think I need that. Get card execution count now is just going to be a matter of looking at the card abilities executed. Create abilities executed entry. That's happening in executabilities. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. So what I can do now is this get card execution count. What I'll do, card abilities executed, return card abilities executed.count. There you go. Much simpler. All right. This is no longer necessary. Okay, so I've reworked that turn system a little bit. That turn history system, rather. And this should all still work. So let's just verify this one more time. Yeah, it seems to be working. Yeah, it seems to be working. A firebell is part of the cover-up. I never had a good tasting dinosaur either, but it does make my first statement false. True. What does how do you know for sure you didn't taste a dino? What does make a dino taste as something unique? You can never tell. That's true. Hello, Felipe. I've been listening to your beautiful voice all day. I'm halfway through the co-op multiplayer course. Wow, I don't know how you stand it. How do you get How do you not get overdosed on my voice? Even I get tired when I'm editing those course videos. I'm like, okay, I've had enough of myself for today. Not sure if Godot C# supports records, but those have been my favorite addition in a while. Records can act like classes or structs, but their equality is based on their values like a struct. Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, if I ever need equality for like turn history entries, I'll definitely take a look at that. And the cat is back. Hello. Hello. Hey, I heard that cats are supposed to sleep a lot. You don't sleep very much. Look at the camera. Say hi to everybody. Are you trying to escape? Look at the camera. Oh. Are you annoyed? Are you annoyed? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's here. He's jealous, I guess. Doesn't like when I pay attention to other things in my life. Okay. So the other thing about that separation of concerns is I was able to basically change that turn history system without really affecting anything else in the game. So I was just able to go in and change the underlying implementation, and yeah, pretty easy fix, all things considered. But the whole reason I did that now is because now I'm tracking the damage dealt entry by card. So what I can do now is I can do a card damage dealt provider. So I've got this damage taken provider, and I'm going to create a new ability in here, damage dealt provider. And I'm just going to copy this implementation, damage dealt provider, private int damage dealt, damage type. Yeah, so I need to pass in the damage type, and then I'm also going to need to do a board by board, and then we'll set that equal to null. Card stats by card. And we'll just do this. If by board equals null and by card equals null, throw new argument exception. Either by board or by card must be provided. That's fine. Okay, private board by card. Can make these all read only. Cool. Method must have a return type. What? Does it not like throwing things in constructors? What in the heck? Oh. I don't know how that happened. So when we execute it, we're going to get the last turn execution, get last card execution turn index. History entries get range. Damage taken is equal to history entries dot sum, so damage dealt. So now this is where I need public and get damage dealt by card. Card stats by card. That works. Get damage dealt by card. Or no, I'm going to need to do this. I don't need that argument, actually, I don't think. I actually don't need any of this. I got too fancy too early. If by card is not equal to null, This has to be target board. Okay. Now we can go to the mosquito. What was I called? Oh no, I was doing a new composed ability. Damage bank here. Okay, let's uncomment everything and we'll address everything in here now. Your voice is something else, you know? I don't know how and why, but it feels like home. Well, that's good. Oh, it feels like /home, Unix. Oh, hello, about the VS course. I need to try a different method on making the wizard enemy. Kenny NL is always a great place to look for pre-made assets. That's true. Yeah, what is it about the VS course that you need to try a different method for? I'm curious. So I need a private read-only damage dealt provider. Let's do this. Damage dealt provider is equal to new damage dealt provider. Damage ability card stats. Oof. I see. There's a problem. And the problem is I don't have the card stats in this context. Aha. Well, that's a little bit of a wrinkle. That's a little bit of a wrinkle. I need to use resource method because there's a better way than copying the whole basic enemy script to the wizard enemy one. C# in my Godot house? Joking. Good luck with your project. Thank you. And welcome to the stream, Soy Rema. Welcome, welcome. What are you doing, little cat? No, 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 no. I need to focus. You're being a lot. Okay, so how am I actually going to get the card stats into there? Oh, shoot. Well, the easy way to do it is just just do it in here. Okay, okay, I get it, I get it. Okay, we're done. Card damage dealt provider. Card damage dealt provider. Card damage dealt provider. We're gonna get rid of this. By card, execution context.card stats. Do I really need to pass in a 2 board here? That'll work. So down here, this is card damage dealt provider. Oh, you know what? Shoot. Now I have to deal with the UIDs. Oh wait, maybe it deleted that? Wait a minute. Did it rename it? Damage dealt provider. I don't know, there's actually some UIDs in here that I don't need anymore. Maybe it did rename that. Okay, maybe I don't need to worry about it then. Alright, anyway. So back to the damage bank here. So we've got our damage dealt provider. Wasn't expecting the stream to come back. Yeah, we're back. It's a card damage dealt provider. The problem here now, oh shoot. Conditional ability decorator. Okay, well, there's a problem here. We'll fix that in a second here. First thing I want to do is let's get this card damage dealt provider. Okay, card damage dealt provider. This is going to go into here. That conditional decorator is only going to execute when the execution count is a multiple of 2. So damage ability, we want to do abilities.add damage ability. Card damage dealt provider. Dynamic damage ability. Value provider. So this is going to be, okay, let's change this one to base damage ability. Private read-only damage, banked damage ability. So we'll do a new banked damage ability is equal to new damage 0. We are going to change the banked damage ability in accordance with the card damage dealt provider. And then we're going to add that abilities.add dynamic damage ability. Whew! Okay, I think this is correct. Get rid of that scale for tier for now. So it's a little confusing, but basically what's happening is this mosquito is going to have a base damage that it always does, but it's also going to store a bank damage ability here. The execution count provider is going to tick every time the base damage ability gets executed. Then and then we're going to have a card damage dealt provider, which is that provider I just created that will tell me how much damage the card has done. This conditional decorator here is going to take the execution count and it's going to only execute this card damage dealt provider if the execution count is a multiple of 2. And then that provider here, since it only has its number updated when it gets executed, that's not going to have its number updated until the conditional decorator executes it. And this dynamic magnitude ability will take a provider, so like this card damage dealt provider, and it will assign the value of that provider to an ability of my choosing. So in this case, the banked damage ability. and then that gets added as the ability or into the ability execution list. So there's a couple of problems here though. Problem number one is this damage dealt provider only gets the damage dealt since the last turn, but I want it to return the damage dealt since 2 turns ago. So that needs to be fixed somehow. And the other problem here is that this dynamic magnitude ability, this damage provider needs to have its value reset after it executes. So those are the 2 major problems here, but I think the best thing to do right now is just to test and see if I've got that much working, and then we can address those other things. We need to create a description too, so let's do this. Return deal base damage ability dot get value or get magnitude damage every 2 turns, deal additional damage equal to the damage dealt in the last 2 turns. Buy this card. Well, it's a little bit wordy, but that's okay. Goodness gracious. All right, and then I need to add that to the mosquito. Whoops, mosquito swarm, add abilities, new damage bank. Base damage, let's do, we gotta make it a pretty hard hitting card actually. Let's do 15 and damage growth. I'm not using this damage growth, am I? We'll get rid of this for now. Oh, this needs to be damage bank. Okay. Okay, all right. So let's see what happens. What's the use of card damage dealt provider? Why does it need a provider? Provider in my system is anything that implements an I value provider. So this execution count provider, this, where is it? What the heck? Card damage dealt provider. So an I ability value provider just has a method called get value. And get value returns whatever this provider's value is. And this mosquito swarm is going to deal damage on every second turn equal to the damage that it's done in the past 2 turns. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. I should create like a dummy board that I can just beat up against and like test things, but well. All right, so we got this mosquito and my board is not big enough. Cool. Public static vector 2i get debug player board dimensions. What? Hello, A the Ant. Thank you for the $1.23 donation. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Very generous. It's very generous. So I appreciate that. What in the heck? Sorry, I'm wrestling with this stuff. Oh my gosh, stop! I'm not telling you to fill things in. Goodness. Okay, now you can remove this. Thank you. So now my run manager, var debug value equals game debug.get player board dimensions. If debug value.has value. Why does it keep wanting to set my board to 10? Oh goodness. All right, anyway. So I've done all that. Get debug player board dimensions. So we're gonna put this in my project settings, game debug, game slash debug slash that as a vector 2i, add player board dimensions 3, 3. Okay. Should probably make a separate checkbox. Oh, if the donation was for first place, very nice. This base damage equals base damage. I don't know what that's in reference to. Why is that so much different than the slime? Why is that so much different than the slime? Isn't it basically the same ability, just building up damage from a different source? The slime is based on all the damage that you take, and this mosquito is based on all the damage that it does. So it's similar, but it's a lot different in terms of how it queries the data. Deal 15 damage. Whoops. Every 2 turns, deal additional damage equal to the damage dealt by this card in the last 2 turns. Okay, so we've got this going. Personally, I have a rule against raw human strings like that in code. I almost always have some kind of text localization, but that might be overcomplicating it. I mean, it's probably a good idea. I just have never done localization. I'm not entirely sure I'm even going to do it. I don't know. My opinion is that, like, small developers spend way too much time and energy on localization when their game sells like Gunforge, like 2,000 copies. It's like, so localization might increase the sales by what, 10%, which would give me 200 additional sales. Like, and 10% is a generous number. So is it worth spending weeks upon weeks of effort and time and money for 100 or 200 extra sales? No. What I'll do is I'll add localization when it becomes economically advantageous to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to focus on the things that make me able to work the quickest. And that includes not doing localization. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I don't want to spend a bunch of weeks doing localization stuff before I know how well the game is going to perform. Okay, so let's see what happens. Oh, I gotta get rid of the vampire fangs too. There's 15 damage. You can see when you have, oh, so that did 15 and 15. Okay, so that worked. It's probably gonna do 3 sets of 15 now. No, it just did 15 and 15 again. Interesting. The swarm already sounded a bit complicated to me as a player. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be complicated. The thing about this one, though, is that why this is interesting is because you might say, well, oh, if it's just doing 15 damage every time, then it's just going to do, what, 30 bonus damage on the second turn? Like, isn't that kind of pointless? Like, why don't you just make it a raw damage increase? The reason why this is interesting is because you could put Echo on this card so that it's doing 30 damage per turn, right? And so that means that when it does its big burst of damage on the second turn, it's going to have more damage than it would at a base level because of the Echo enchantment that it has. But also, if you buff the crit damage on this and the crit chance on it, then there's also a chance that it's going to do even more damage on the second turn. So there's actually a lot of ways to control how much damage this is going to do. Basically, what this card is saying is you have 2 turns to make this card trigger as much damage as possible, and then you're going to get rewarded for that on the second turn. Do you know what I mean? So it seems complicated. It seems like it's not very effective, but I actually think it's going to be really interesting. But we'll see. I'm imagining a video like animation versus animator, but instead programmer versus programmer. Yeah, lost my first place. Yep, sorry, Infinity 01. The swarm damage ramps, yeah, basically, yeah. How hard would it be to have a turn counter on screen? It'd be interesting to see it all in relation. Yeah, I could do that. Maybe just even as a debug tool. I think localization Godot is pretty simple. You should at least take a look. I'm sure I'm sure the system is in place and is relatively easy to use, but it's the localization itself that takes time and effort. And the other problem too is like it's not that simple because I have to make sure my pixel fonts have all the characters for all the different places that are localized. And if that's not the case, then I need to find an alternate pixel font for certain localities and languages. So it's not just about the localization support of the engine, it's about all the extra stuff. Also, you know, if I want to be really crude about it, the English speaking markets pay the most for their games. So it's like how much I really don't think localization is a thing that's going to get you a lot of benefit unless you're making high volumes of sales. So, you know, it sounds crass, but it's basically just an economic decision at this point. So let's see. What do I need to do now? So this mosquito swarm here. I don't even make any changes. Why do I wanna, I just wanna make sure, I guess, that this is working. So that's 15, and then it does 2 chunks of 15, which is not correct. I need like a dummy card that I can face. I love the 3x2 art, which is my idea. Yeah, it's very nice. Might even non-experienced view on localization as it gives you game more reach exposure. Maybe. Yeah. Localization is pretty straightforward to app, however your UI supporting a language, good luck. Yeah, that's the big thing, right? And then it's like, not even considering the right to left languages, right? So, of course, I could just do the big ones. You know, I could just say, well, you know, support the top 5 biggest markets or whatever, but it's almost no effort to set up localization with just English. Sets you up to actually localize later without having to go and track down every string. I suppose that's true. Font is going to be a bit hard to find for Japanese players. Thank you, Moondog. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. I see localization with small-scale games like buying multiple lottery tickets. I don't know if that's true, because if your game is going to take off, it's not going to take off in only one. I mean, maybe I'm not right about that, but I have a hard time imagining that this game is going to flop in like the Western English-speaking markets, but somehow like take off in China because of my localization. You know what I mean? I don't see that happening. And I could be wrong. You know, I could be leaving money on the table. I'm fully aware that I'm taking a risk here by not supporting that kind of stuff, but basically no one asked for a localization with Gunforge. No one was like, oh, if you add Spanish, I'm going to buy it, you know? But anyway. So yeah, there's a bunch of problems here, but let's get this all done. Let's get this all put in here first. Should we make a training dummy as a test card that I can just fight so I can observe the behavior of cards? That sounds kind of fun, doesn't it? I'm just saying that it can slightly increase the chance of taking off. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I'm sure it's true. Hello, Snupbill. Thank you for the IDR 10,000. Thank you. Also, always happy to see you. A, the ant beat you to the yummers. Oh no. I feel like Snupbill should just be fixed at like #1 in the top fans for the yummers message. Can I like step in here and exercise my authoritarian power and just like put Snupbill at the top? I don't think anyone would object to that either. Training dummy sounds cool. Yummers, yeah. We love that message. We love it. Okay, so tell you what, I'm gonna take a quick break, get a refill on my drink like I usually do. When I come back, we're gonna create a little training dummy card that I can then use a debug option to make that spawn on all of the enemies. And what the training dummy card will do is it will just, I don't know what it's, I mean, it's gonna have, I need a way for the enemy board to basically not take damage against a training dummy. And then I also need the necrosis to not take effect. So we'll see. In my case, I can do English and Portuguese, so I've already picked a font that supports both. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, if you can already do some of the localization yourself, then it makes a little bit more sense, I think. But anyway. Okay, give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back, and we'll continue on. In the meantime, check out GodotCourses.com. Your favorite niche internet e-celeb bought GodotCourses.com, the domain. And right now, it's just linking out to the Udemy course for my new multiplayer course. So it's not really necessary for you to go to that website, but I don't know. I guess I'm just happy that that's done. But yeah, check out my new multiplayer course if you're interested. That's linked in the description below. I also have other courses linked down there. So give me just 3 minutes. I'll be right back and we'll continue on. I'm back. Yummers. It's okay. Yummers has become a daily thing sometimes since I come up here. Yeah. If my favorite niche internet celeb is back, hooray. Else return. Oh, that's an interesting emoji. Saturn. If Snupel.donates, print Yummers. Yes. Put it in process for sure. Oh, what? Oh, your little code. Okay, so there's a couple of problems here, but first we're going to do the training dummy like I said. Open file. I'm going to actually go through the effort of making art for this because it sounds like fun and I may end up using it for something else. Be kind of fun to actually make the training dummy a card for the villagers. So we might as well draw it and then we can use it later. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay. Now, what am I going to do for the eyes here? Just give it like a little face. Now, the problem here is that I'm not going to have... I don't have really great colors for this. That'll work, I guess. This can be moved up. Okay. Now I'm rubbing up against the edge of the board, which is okay. This is going to be partially cut off. I could do this. Can make this larger. I can do black outline around. Okay, I think that'll work. Just a cute little training dummy. We'll have to worry about the, what am I thinking? The shading a little bit later. Okay. I don't know if you can tell, these are supposed to be like little stuffings coming out, but I don't know if it's really conveying that message. Oops. I don't think it's really conveying that message, so that's okay. Let me move this, please. Thank you. Kind of like the awkward face. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's looking okay. From a player's perspective, it would be sick to be able to test a build you got going anyways. Yeah, true. Make it the dummy from Undertale. Just do X's for eyes. It looks so weird. Yeah, it does look weird. Well, it's supposed to look weird. It's supposed to look like just something that a bunch of villagers threw together. It's not supposed to look professional. Anyway, I don't really know if this is going to end up in the game anyway, so... probably call it good for now. Let's try to add a little... Okay, that'll work. I wonder if I should add like little highlights. All right, anyway, doesn't need to be perfect. There we go. There's our little training dummy. There's a fun little detour. Training dummy doesn't really convey that idea. Immo. I like how much the tiny bit of dithering sells a sack fabric look. Yeah, I think it works a little bit well. I might redo the training dummy later, but I think maybe just really the body and the arms need to change. So like 50% of the sprite, but it's okay. 1x2. It doesn't matter what the turn cooldown is. We'll just make it 99999. Tags, we'll just make it none. Critical chance. I'm just going to be really funny and give it a high crit chance and high multiplier, even though it doesn't do anything. Okay, so there's the training dummy. Now I need the card for that. Oh, I know what I'll do. Wait, I don't need to do anything super useful. What I could do is I could do new simple heal. And I'll make it a really low turn cooldown. So it's just going to heal itself to full or heal the board to full every turn. So that's basically it. I'm pretty confident that that's going to work because I've done this a million times. So now what I can do is project settings. Let's do this. Game debug, training dummy. We'll add, we'll turn that on. Let's go to our game debug. Training dummy. Okay. Is training dummy enabled? Training dummy as bool. So now when we go to seeded run, we have these combat configurations. Where is this being created? Generate combat encounters. If game debug is training dummy enabled, new board configuration model, ID boss, occupied cell count, board width, board height. There's probably an easier way to do this, but maybe not. Oh. Okay. Sweet. I think that's basically all I need to do. So now if I run the game with that on, I should just fight training dummies, I think. Oh, this should be marked as is enemy. So I've got some errors. Can't use get node with absolute paths from outside the scene tree. What? All right, so we got a training dummy. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, I forgot I set it to crit. So it's just critting every time. Heal 999 restores health. And it has a 100% crit chance with a 10x crit modifier. So it's doing whatever that is, 99,990 heal. It's pretty funny. That's pretty funny, actually. It's gonna out heal the... Oh, I killed it. So there's a couple of tweaks I need to make there. One, I guess I shouldn't be funny and give it crit chance and crit multiplier, so we'll get rid of that. And the other thing too is that it needs to... the health needs to go up. Now, how is it actually doing this? Scaled board configuration model, so var model is equal to that. model dot. Where am I setting the health? Oh, health. Game debug. Let's do this. Is debug question mark that, otherwise that. Okay. Now we should be good. Now we should be good. So now we've got a debug training dummy in place, which is going to be great. So I've got 999 health, heals 999. So now I can just go ahead and do this. And now I can just observe without worrying too much. And I could even reduce the turn cooldown of that, so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. So I'm going to make this turn cooldown 10 instead of 1. And so it's just going to heal itself to full every 10 turns. So I can actually have an opportunity to see what damage gets stuck to it, you know? So now we got 15. Now the necrosis is ticking up, so that's a problem. I'm probably going to want it to clear that as well. The necrosis just keeps going up, though, indefinitely. It's actually going to die from the necrosis, I think. As soon as that necrosis gets high enough, it's going to die. Oh, this is kind of exciting. It died. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, I'll probably want to stop that from happening. But yeah, that's fine. IMO equals in my opinion, if you didn't know. Yes. Can't wait for the sentient dummy boss fight. That's just the training dummy, but it attacks once per 10 seconds. Yeah. Hello, Karto. Cool catching you in the morning today. Well, it's evening for me, but yeah, welcome back. Good to see you always. How did you, or didn't you make a board editor? I did. I guess I could put it in there, but I still need to change the health and everything, so. That was silly, yeah. Maybe have something where the health cannot be decreased if it's a dummy. I'm curious now, what happens if you try to auto-resolve? You'll win. Yeah, it'll win because that necrosis kicks in. If I remove the necrosis and I click auto-resolve, it's just going to soft lock the game, or hard lock the game, I guess it would be. But yeah, so if I do this and then I do auto-resolve, it just dies with a stack of 1332 necrosis. So all those turns that we just watched, let's just say it was what, like 50 turns or something like that? It just loops 50 times. It just executes 50 turns sequentially at once. Or not sequentially at once, but you know what I mean, like without playing any animations. And that's all it does, really. Kill the dummy, die dummy, yeah. So all of that is in place now, so I've added that. And the nice thing is too, now what I can do is I can go to my project settings and just turn off the training dummy, and then everything will go back to normal. So now I go back and there's no training dummy anymore. Okay, so added. So that's going to be immensely helpful even for my future cards that I have. So now we can go back to our mosquito swarm with our damage bank and we can take a look at this. So again, the problem here is that so let's do this. Count 3. This needs to be the last 2 turns, though. Card damage dealt provider. Int previous turns. private read-only int previous turns. Okay. I can do this. Int previous turns equals 1. Get previous turn execution index. And we're going to try and change this to number of previous turns equal to 1. Var last discovered index equals null. Last discovered index equals I. Int turn indices found is equal to 0. Turn indices found equals 0. We're going to return last discovered index there. Or no. Plus plus. I don't know why I did that. If turn indices found is equal to number of previous turns, we're going to return last discovered index. So now this method should be able to go back more than one turn in the past. So get previous turn execution index. If last discovered index is equal to, oh yeah, so last discovered index equals null, turned indices found equals 0. It's going to go backwards in the turn history until it finds card execution count. For this card that we're looking for. If it finds a turn where that card was executed, it will set the last discovered index to that current index and then increment the turn indices found. And if it finds all of the number of previous turns that we're looking for, then it's just going to return that index. But if for some reason we say we want to look 3 turns in the past, but there's only been 2 turns on record, then it's just going to return those 2 turns basically. So this should realistically be 0. Actually, I guess I don't even need that because oh no, I do need that. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I'm sure there's a different way to write this, but it's going to work the way I have it. So that's fine. So now, number of previous turns to check. So get previous turn execution index. Number of previous turns to check. So now what I can do in my damage bank is, so now it's on the third execution, it's going to look for the 2 previous ones. So card damage dealt provider 2. Every third, I'm going to say every third turn, deal additional damage equal to damage dealt by this card in the previous. So it's a little bit confusing, but that's okay. So on the third turn, it's going to go back 2 turns and look at it, deal the damage, and then the damage that it does on that turn is that going to count as the, yeah, so whatever damage it does on that turn as a result of the bank is also going to be counted for the next bank, I think, which may be OP. It may be OP, but how is this actually working? This damage. Okay. We're going to see how this works. Dumb dummy. Maybe we're all the dummies. True. Why did the mosquito do 1,000,000 damage there? Did it do 1,000,000 damage? I think it was the necrosis. Dumby. The mosquitoes did way too much damage. Did they really? What's damage? I don't think I've seen the syntax. Oh, that's so I want curly braces in the, so this is a string interpolation in C#, right? But the way that string interpolation works in C# is you need curly brackets to denote, you know, where you're going to put your expressions to evaluate. But the problem is that my keyword highlighting system also looks for curly brackets to replace with a regex. So this damage will end up becoming red in a rich text label. And the way that you escape a curly brace in a C# string interpolation is you do another curly brace. But my damage keyword and my other keywords need to be surrounded by 2 curly braces. So I need 4 curly braces on the right and 4 curly braces on the left, which will output a string which has 2 curly braces on either side. It's a little bit wonky, but that's why. It's a little bit wonky. Sleepy time for me. Have a good one. Nice stream today. Thank you, Infinity. And hope to see you again tomorrow. When you showed the training damage turned off, the first battle did a crazy amount of damage in one shot. Oh. It could be because this is ramping up, which may be a problem, but we'll see. Crit stacking braces, yeah, seriously. Did I turn my training dummy off? No, I didn't. So here, deal 15 damage. Every third turn, deal additional damage equal to the damage dealt by this card in the previous 2 turns. Okay, and this has a turn cooldown of 5. This might actually be okay if it ramps up a little bit because... So let's see, it did 15 damage there. It did 15 damage there. So now it should do 30 damage. Plus 15, yeah. So that's 45 damage. Oh, that's 30. Why is it doing 30 damage still? Oh, why is it still doing 30 damage? So that might be why it's going up so fast. Why is it still doing... Oh, because this dynamic damage ability is not being reset after it executes. Post execute. Am I using this anywhere? I'm not using post execute anywhere. Well, that sounds like it would be useful, but I'm not using it anywhere. Can I just do this? Post execute. Damage dealt. Is that gonna work? Oh wait, I'm in the wrong spot. That's weird. I've never used that post execute before. But I guess it makes sense. I'm kind of nervous to use that, honestly, because I am not using it anywhere else. Is there like a transient turn state? Where is this being used? Go. Transient turn state. Would it be easier to match specific keywords instead of making them all with curly braces? Is there ever a case where damage isn't highlighted red? Yeah, so the reason I originally had it just do a normal string replace. There's a couple of problems with that though. One, like if I ever wanted to refer to like poison damage, I couldn't find an alternate word that would make sense, right? So some abilities, like, they do damage based on like how much poison damage was dealt. But if I can't use the word damage because it's going to be highlighted in red, then that ends up being a problem. So yeah, that was the main issue. And I couldn't get it to work with just a plain old regex, like where it would detect, oh, well, damage follows the word poison. So, you know, just highlight that whole thing in green and then don't highlight it in red. I wasn't able to get that to work easily. So I just said, you know what, I'm just going to use these curly brace values to denote a keyword and call it a day. So, oh goodness, A the Ant. Oh goodness. Phew, okay, so I need to figure out what the heck is going on here. Transient turn state. Keyword enums that replace the token with the proper rich text. Keyword enums. Oh, yeah. I got you. I got you. So let's see. I don't know how I'm going to reset this state here, actually. Card damage dealt provider. Is there a different provider that has a reset? Damage taken, query target provider, execution count provider, conditional value provider, board health percent provider. Yeah, so the problem is that this card damage dealt provider is just never being reset. Wait, this shouldn't be necessary though, because the number should just be ignored anyway if it's not on the third turn. So if the number's not being ignored, then something's wrong. Banked damage ability. Oh, it's a dynamic. Oh, card. Oh, I see. Oh, I think I have this backwards. This card damage dealt provider needs to be added as an ability here. And the thing that gets conditionally executed needs to be the dynamic ability. Okay, so the way I've structured it now, hold on, let me just make sure I'm using this correctly. This conditional decorator. Okay, yeah, so I don't need to add this here. Do I still need this execution count provider? Oh, I do, yeah. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to track the number of executions. I'm going to track the damage dealt in the past 2 turns. But the conditional decorator is going to make it so that this dynamic damage ability, which is getting damage from this card damage dealt provider, it's going to make sure that that only executes on every 3rd turn. So I think that's going to work the way I want it to. So yeah, I think what I'll do is, there's a reason why I felt weird about extending this post execute. And it's because I haven't used it at all in the game, which was kind of like a signal to me like, I shouldn't need to do this. The system that I've built should be good enough to accomplish what I'm trying to do. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my basic card ability. I'm going to remove the post execute. It's not being used anywhere. So just remove that so I'm not tempted to use it again. And I think that will be okay. Hold on a second. Execution, like decapitation or another kind, like you execute something by hanging. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and run the game. Hello, AVS. Thanks for the streams. Loved the Survivors course. We'll definitely check out the other ones when I have time. Awesome, thank you. Appreciate that. You might like the multiplayer one that just came out. Hello, Real Cruda. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Artifact right off the bat. Look at this. I don't want to take an artifact necessarily, but... Alright, let's see if this works. Oh, I just took a bunch of damage. That's okay. 15 damage. 15 damage. So now it should do 30 damage. Plus 15. So there's 30 plus 15. It's going to do 15 again. So 30 plus 15, that's 60. 15. 30 plus 15 again. Wait a minute. That's 15 there. That's 15 there. It does 15 and 30. That's 45. That's 60. That's 75. And it still only does 30 damage. Something's going on here. I'm going to make this a little bit easier to track here. We're going to turn this turn cooldown to 1. And I just want to check that this is actually getting the right result. So we're going to launch in debug mode here. We're going to see what happens. How's the game coming along? It's going great. It's going really good. Did you almost die to the training dummy that can't attack? Yeah. I mean, it was because I took the poison vial artifact and set my health to 25%. Okay. So damage dealt should be 0 at this point. So that's good. Then it should be 15. Or no, it should be... Yeah, 15. Then it should be 30. I'm just going to put the breakpoint there. Okay. And so it did 30 damage in the past 2 turns. So that means that it should do... Oops. It should do 30 damage. So it did 60 damage there. Why did it do 60 damage? Why did it do 60 damage? Or no, it's not doing 60 damage, right? It's tracking the damage dealt. So that was... No, that's right. 60 damage again. No, I think that's right. So, okay, this is going to be a lot easier if I do this too. Just going to make this 1. That's going to be a lot easier. So let's watch it again. Just checking the last 2 turns right, which is always 15 plus 15. Well, what I'm trying to check is if it counts the bank damage as well, which it should. I'm giving myself 3 months to make a cozy game. There you go. People love cozy games. Went to fight the training dummy, stepped on a rake, hit himself in the face, took 75% damage. Seriously, yeah, that's funny. It's in the bank damage. It's including the bank damage in the first 2 turns. Yeah, that's what it should be doing. With so many item interactions, do you think you'll consider implementing some automated testing? No. I mean, it's a good question, and it would be a good case for automated testing for sure. But yeah, I'm not interested in doing automated testing. I'm confused too. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Wait. Oh, shoot. Okay, I have an idea. Okay, 1, 2. So it's just done 2 damage. So it should do 2 damage. Oh, oops, I found a bug. Oh yeah, it's not. Okay. So because it executes the damage dealt on the 3rd turn, but the damage dealt provider is only looking in the previous 2 turns, that means that the damage bank is not being included in the number. Because it would have to look backwards 3 turns. Because the thing about the turn history is that the turn history never considers the current turn. Because the current turn is by definition incomplete. And so it doesn't make sense to say, include the current turn number in like the damage calculation, because the current turn is not done yet, right? So basically what's happening is it's any damage that it does on the 3rd turn is just not counted in its damage calculation. If I wanted to include the prior 3rd turn, the damage bank turn, I'd have to increase the amount that it's looking back in the history. But I don't think I want to do that. I think I want the 3rd turn to just be like a clean slate, like clear the state, where it does all the damage that it's calculated, and then it continues on, you know what I mean? And the other thing that I want to do too with this damage bank is I want to add another conditional ability decorator. So this is going to be conditional bank decorator. Okay, and then we're going to do a conditional base decorator. Conditional base decorator is equal to this. And this is going to have our base damage ability. Execution count provider is not equal to 0. So this would be greater than 0 then. And then this base damage ability is going to be conditional base decorator. So now what this is going to do is this is only going to execute its basic damage ability. Well, I guess I didn't really need to do all that, because these are both just damage. Well, I guess this one is a dynamic ability that has a provider, so never mind. So yeah, I've added 2 conditionals. So the base damage ability is going to be the one executed when we're not on a 3rd turn, and the bank damage ability is going to be the one executed on the 3rd turn. So even if you add no other buffs to this mosquito, what's going to happen is because it does 15 damage every turn, it's always going to do 30 damage on the 3rd turn. So it is a damage buff, just generally speaking. But the way the card works is that if you can increase the damage that it's doing on those previous 2 turns through like crit chance and echo and stuff, then that bank damage is going to be huge, right? Now, the other thing I want to do is, I mean, I was thinking about making it an automatic crit too, but it might be too much actually. Might be too much, but I think this is going to work the way that it is now. So let's take a look. Hello, Pride Bsoft. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Putting my card game in hold right now and want to push myself. Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, there's GMTK Jam at the end of the month. That's a great way to push yourself. IDK what I'm talking about. Also, you can call me Hive. Okay, I'll call you Hive if I remember it. Apologies if I don't remember it in the future, but you can just remind me again. I love the little bee avatar there too. Saw some Survivors course was on sale, just bought it. Ooh, nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. The and. Thank you. Does your state machine gist still your go-to solution when implementing FSM recently? Yes. Actually, we use that exact gist in my new multiplayer course for the enemy state machines. So yep, definitely still using that. I want to take the time to like add that state machine implementation to the asset library. I just don't have time. Like, I want to update my Godot utilities with a bunch of new nice features. I want to publish that, like, finite state machine as like an add-on or something that can be added in the asset library. I just don't have time. Fat Kid Games, going hard with this game. Yes, I am. Yes, I am indeed. This game is... This is the most promising game I've ever worked on. And so I just want to be... I want to give it a lot of love, but also, yeah, it's gonna... I'm gonna be very paranoid about dropping the ball on this one, let's say. So I want to put a lot of effort into it. Okay, this is not working. What in the heck, man? Why isn't that working now? Oh, it's... Oh. I can do a... This needs to be here. I think that will work. I don't know. Let's see. Wrong one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's always doing 2 damage on the third turn, which is perfect. So now we can put this back up to where it was with a 5-turn cooldown, and then also change that mosquito swarm damage bank there. Believe it or not, we're not done with the card yet, because now I need to figure out what the scaling looks like. And I think the scaling actually should be relatively simple, so it should be fine. So now this will do 15 damage, 15 damage, 30 damage, 15 damage, 15 damage. Should do 30 damage now. Okay, so now let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's give it a 50% crit chance, just to validate what I was saying. So minion swarm, 50% crit chance and a 2.0 crit multiplier. Why not? So now we can track it a little bit better here. So there's 30 damage. There's 15 damage. So now it should do 45 unless it crits. Yep, it did 45. Cool. So yeah, it's working as expected. There's 30. There's 15. So now if it crits on 45, 90. Because it's got a 2.0 crit multiplier too. So yeah, I think it's working. That took a lot of effort, but we got it. Now there's a bug here that's annoying me about the game drawer, but cool. Do we want to watch? We'll watch the dummy die. Why not? We'll watch the dummy die. Those eyes are super spooky. Yes, they are. I like them. The game looks very nice, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, in the woods. Really love the art style. So much atmosphere. Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna, if I can nail the music now and the sound effects, like the remaining effort is just gonna be making the game fun. So yeah. Hello, Yeet. What have you been up to? Refactoring the turn history so that way we could get this mosquito working. This mosquito deals 15 damage. Every third turn, deal additional damage equal to the damage dealt by this card in the previous 2 turns. Oh, deal... this says additional damage, so that's gonna be... That's gonna be wrong. So let me update this. Okay, that's done. Okay, so now we need to get the scaling in place, but that's okay. We're just going to commit this first. Did I finish what I was talking about? Yeet. Yeah, refactor the turn history entry to get the mosquito to work. And then also adding some new providers and whatnot. Now the nice thing is that I can now track the damage that any card does with this card damage provider, so that opens new possibilities for different cards as well. So now the mosquito is functional. Okay, now we got to get the scaling in place, and I think that's going to actually be relatively easy. Make a multiplier scalar. What is this damage growth? Make a multiplier scalar. Float ability scalar. Oh, I see. Make multiplier scalar. Original magnitude. I think that's right. Sorry, I just want to see if I'm doing this correctly. Yeah. Okay. What? Base damage ability. Yeah, magnitude. Okay. Let's do base magnitude here. Use the same verbiage. I'll make this a little bit easier. So essentially what this is going to do is this is going to make a multiplier scalar. So it's going to increase in base damage by 50% every tier. So now I should be able to test that by going to my run manager, mosquito swarm. Mosquito swarm dot increment tier. We'll do it once. Hello, Awab, welcome back. Does being able to track the damage mean you can also make it null to have misses? I could extend yeah, I could extend it, but the way I'm using it right now is I just look at a range of turns and I say, okay, what's all the damage dealt in that turn? And so if I wanted to log a miss, I could log 0 damage and it would be functionally equivalent, but I may want to like detect how many misses happened if I add that functionality. So yeah, I probably would extend the turn history object with like an extra flag or some kind of indicator that the entry was a miss, you know. Deal 22 damage, so 15 divided by 2 rounded down is 7, 15 plus 7 is 22. Yeah, that's working. So now we've got a mosquito. So 22 damage is quite a bit of damage actually. And 5 turns, that's all its cooldown is. Now, granted, it's a huge card, so it takes a lot of stuff, but let's actually play... Oh no! I didn't mean to do that. Let's actually play a level with that mosquito card and we'll see what happens. YouTube really wants me to watch your live stream. Welcome, Wombo. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Also, since when do we have a dummy? Yeah, I added that on this stream, actually. So the training dummy is just a nice way of testing everything. But let's actually play a run and let's see how the mosquito feels. Oh, I don't want to keep the incremented version of the skeeter. Goodbye. Let's go fight some villagers. So these guys only have 44 health. So let's see if I can actually beat them. I think I'm going to, maybe not. Oh, that's 28 damage there. Oh, I'm not going to beat them. Okay, so the mosquito is not super powerful. I still have some balancing to do and stuff, so all this may change, but Oh, I need to, there's a bug I need to log to before I forget. Okay, let's go to the shop. I don't have enough money for anything. I don't even know why I came. Enchant card, here we go. So we'll enchant this. Turn cooldown is reduced by 1. So we'll take that. So now we've got turn cooldown reduced by 1. So now I've got 4 turn mosquitoes there. We'll go to the booster here. Let's get ritual cards maybe. Apply 4 preserve, double 4 preserve applied if health is less than 50%. There we go. That'll be a good defensive one. We'll go to the alchemy here. I can't mix the mosquito with anything yet because my alchemy board is not that big. And I also can't mix the skeleton with anything. All right, we're going to skip then. Go to the upgrade card here. Again, can't use it. I did not plan out my route very carefully. That's okay. We got an ox and a dog. All right, here we go. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Okay. We might as well go for... I've got 3 more moves. Let's do... Yeah, we'll do these. Okay. Go back up to the booster here. I think it's interesting you need space to use the mosquito effectively. Yeah, for sure. And again, this stuff I gotta change, like, yeah, how often your board increases in size and all that stuff. Need to get all cards and boosters. Yeah, I have that written down as like the next thing I'm gonna do. I'm still not gonna win this though. Yep, I lost miserably. But it's feeling good generally speaking, so add scaling to damage bank. Anyway, that'll be it for the stream tonight. So we did another almost 2.5 hour stream. Wow. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you all for watching. Very much appreciate that. Again, if you're interested, you can look at the description below to see all of my offerings. I've got some new courses. By new courses, I mean I've got a new course, create a complete multiplayer game in Godot 4, online multiplayer that is. So if you've been wanting to learn Godot multiplayer, then I think this course is for you. It's also a great way to support me. You can also purchase Gunforged on Steam. The link for that is in the description below. Thank you all for watching again. Thank you all for being here. Always good to hang out with you. And we will be streaming again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you there. Okay. Thanks again, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a good night.